Essay number 66. Why we hold on tightest to the things that aren't meant for us. I used to wonder how you let go of the things that are killing you when it feels like it would kill you to let them go. How do you choose between if it's meant to be, it will be, and if you want it, you have to go get it? How do you know when to surrender and when to fight? How do you know if you're giving up or letting go? I think I finally figured it out. We hold on tightest to the things that aren't meant for us because at some level we already know they aren't really ours. Think about it. The relationships you've gripped the hardest, were they ever really secure? The opportunities you've chased the most desperately, were they ever really right? The life you've tried to force into existence, did it ever really fit? We're always seeking the love we know we don't actually have. We're always trying to prove the things that aren't self-evident. We're always fighting for what's already walking away. Because here's what we don't want to admit. When something is just an idea, holding on is the only way to keep it alive. When someone's already left emotionally but not physically, obsessing about them is how we pretend they're still there. When a dream has already died but we haven't buried it yet, talking about it constantly is how we keep it breathing. When a life path isn't working but we can't admit it, grinding harder is how we avoid facing the truth. We know that when we stop thinking and talking and analyzing and racking through the details again and again, it will really be over. And that terrifies us more than the pain of holding on to something that's cutting our hands. But here's what nobody tells you about letting go. It has almost nothing to do with giving somebody permission to leave your life, or accepting that they don't love you anymore, or watching them walk away for good. Letting go is about accepting that they already have. The person you're trying to convince to stay, they left months ago. The opportunity you're desperately chasing, it was never actually available to you. The life you're trying to force, it was never yours to live. The holding on isn't keeping them. It's keeping you from seeing what's really there, or more accurately, what isn't. I don't know about fate. I don't know if things are meant to be, or if we create our own destiny. But I do know this. The things that are actually ours don't require us to mentally and emotionally latch onto them to remain. The best things in life are never forced. They're never created out of ultimatums. They never leave us reeling and questioning and analyzing for months or years at a time. The right relationship doesn't require you to convince them to stay. The right career doesn't require you to beg for recognition. The right path doesn't require you to justify it to everyone, including yourself. When something is meant for you, it feels like ease. Not easy, ease. There's a difference. Easy means no effort. Ease means the effort flows naturally, like you're working with life instead of against it. But we've been taught the opposite. We've been taught that love means fighting for someone, that success means grinding until you break, that wanting something badly enough means you deserve it. So we measure our love by our pain. We think the more it hurts to lose something, the more it meant to us. We think our suffering proves our devotion. We think our inability to let go proves how much we care. But you cannot prove how much you love by how much you're pained over loss. You cannot prove your character by how well you can convince other people you're doing the right thing. You cannot prove something is meant for you by how hard you're willing to fight for it. Actually, it's usually the opposite. The things we have to fight the hardest to keep are the things that want to leave. And here's the deeper truth. It's never the love that hurts you. It's the attachment to the idea of what it's supposed to be. It's not the person leaving that destroys us. It's the future we imagined with them. It's not the job ending that breaks us. It's the identity we built around it. It's not the dream dying that kills us. It's the version of ourselves that needed that dream to be someone. We're never going to find real love unless we learn to detach from what it should be. We're never going to find true happiness until we stop trying to force life into the shape we think it should take. Because here's the ultimate truth bomb. Nothing here lasts anyway. We eventually lose everything, every last thing we have and are and own. Every person we love will leave through death if not before. Every achievement will fade. Every possession will break or get lost or stop mattering. The illusion isn't loss. The illusion is permanence. So the point isn't what we lose. The point is what we had in the first place, what we experienced, what we learned, what we became through the having and the losing. We aren't meant to collect experiences like bullet points on a resume, checking off boxes of achievements and relationships and milestones. We're supposed to go through them and let them go through us. We're supposed to be changed by them, not own them. Some love teaches us what it needs to teach us in a month. Some takes a lifetime. Neither is more important than the other. The person who breaks your heart in 3 months might teach you more about yourself than someone who stays for 30 years. The job you have for 6 months might shape you more than a career that lasts decades. Duration doesn't equal importance. Intensity doesn't equal meaning. Pain doesn't equal depth. The things that are truly meant for us, they're not the things that make us feel secure. They're the things that force us to grow. They're not the things that confirm who we think we are. They're the things that reveal who we actually are. The things that are meant for us force us to stop seeking an external light and start becoming it. They don't complete us, they inspire us to complete ourselves. They don't save us, they show us we don't need saving. The things that are meant for us are trying and joyous and beautiful and excruciating. They stretch us and break us and remake us. They're difficult, but they're not forced. They're challenging, but they're not wrong. And here's how you know something is really meant for you. You don't have to think about it constantly. You don't have to analyze it to death. You don't have to convince yourself or anyone else that it's right. The things that are meant for us are the things we don't have to hold on tightly to make happen. They happen naturally, organically, almost inevitably. Not because we force them into existence, but because we became the person who naturally attracts and creates them. So that thing you're death-gripping right now, that person you're trying to convince to stay, that life you're trying to force into existence, what would happen if you let go? Not gave up, let go. There's a difference. Giving up is bitter, resentful, defeated. Letting go is opening your hands and seeing what chooses to stay, what was always yours, what was just waiting for you to stop squeezing the life out of it. Because here's the secret. The things that are meant for you can't leave. Not really. They might change form, they might evolve, they might surprise you by looking different than you expected. But what's truly yours will always find its way to you. And what's not? Well, you can grip it until your hands bleed, and it's still going to slip through your fingers eventually. The question isn't whether you're strong enough to hold on. The question is whether you're brave enough to let go and see what stays. The question isn't whether you love something enough to fight for it. The question is whether you love yourself enough to stop fighting against reality. The question isn't how to get what you want. The question is whether what you want is actually what you need, or just what you're used to wanting. Let go of the death grip. Open your hands. See what stays and what goes. See what was always meant to leave and what was always meant to remain. And then notice something beautiful. The things that stay when you stop forcing them. Those are the things that were always truly deeply yours. Everything else, it was just passing through, teaching you what it needed to teach you, changing you how it needed to change you, preparing you for what's actually coming. The things you're meant to have don't require you to sacrifice who you are to keep them. They require you to become who you are to receive them. So become that person, let go of everything else, and watch what happens next.